call is now being recorded.
Global Tellink. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Robert.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tellink.
Hello,
Hello.
Robert.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing today?
All right, I'm doing good, man. It's a little hot over here, so just trying to stay cool under these little tiny fans that we got, you know.
Man, yeah, it's that time of the year where it starts getting a little bit hotter, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Summer's here already out here in Centinela.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I want to go ahead and thank you, for calling in again, and this is going to be part 4 of your journey of all the way from when you were a kid all the way to where you're currently at right now. And last time we spoke, you had we kind of left off at the period of your life where you had pretty much decided to hang up the gloves. If you want to go ahead and take it from there and maybe walk us down through that part again if you wish, and then get into your journey.
Alrighty, so we'll say in about 2012 was when I decided to go ahead and call it an end to my gang lifestyle. It wasn't necessarily at my own choosing. It was due to me, you know what I mean, wanting to politic within prison. And, you know what I mean, playing that game, I got a little bit of ahead of myself, and ended up getting in trouble. And so, I had to go through the motions where, I ended up getting stabbed off the yard. It wasn't that easy to go ahead and say, like, you know what I mean, like, that's it, I'm done. So, I took my...
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And still try to play the game. And, but the amount of trouble that I was in, or I found myself in, was, it just kept on coming. So, after going through it about once or twice more, that's when I finally decided, you know what I mean, to let administration know that, you know what I mean, I no longer wanted to abide by the prison politics. And went ahead and went through the process of transitioning to an SNY inmate. And wow, man, thinking back to that time, that mind frame, and having to deal with the transition of living my life a certain way, you know what I mean, not only under gang rules from the streets, but I mean prison politics, you know what I mean, having to deal with that situation as it went on was hard, man. It was for sure, like, you know what I mean, it had me feeling shame. You know what I mean, in ADSEG, you know what I mean, having to walk by the other fellas and, just like keep your head down, because you don't want to make eye contact because, you know what I mean, and the embarrassment, like feeling like, like you didn't measure up in a sense. And so after that, I was in ADSEG, going through the process, because when you decide to drop out of the gang lifestyle, you just don't get, for the most part, you just don't get thrown back to the yard. You know what I mean? You got to go through a phase where, it's, like an interview phase where, they ask you, do you have enemies on the other side as well? And, like, are you going to have problems, you know what I mean, like functioning or even possibly having to live amongst, different races inside the cell. And so, when I finally got kicked out to the yard, it was a culture shock, and it's just like it was like a different prison within the prison. Like it was like, they say prison's a third world country. Well, I mean, this side is another whole planet within itself. And you know what I mean? Just being on the main line for so long and having to come to this side and see that there ain't no rules and regulations amongst the individuals on this side like there was in GP. It's pretty much every man for himself. Let's see, just functioning amongst individuals that, you know what I mean, are not allowed on the main line. That was something that was hard to get used to. And just like usually, like when you would see your race, getting into it with another race, it was automatic. You know what I mean? Everybody's gonna participate and get involved, and on this side, it's not like that. Like it's, you get into it with another race, it's just one-on-one. You know what I mean? And if you had a handful of boys that rocked with you, and he did, and it might be a little what they would consider a melee, but it wasn't a full-blown race riot like it is on GP side. Now, don't get me wrong, there was at times where, certain individuals would still, live amongst those rules, and there would be like a little mini riot, but, nothing weird. Like I said, so transitioning, I was mad at myself, you know what I mean? I kind of like, I just stuck to myself. I didn't really, interact with too many people because, I was stuck in my ways, and I was just in that mind frame where, you know what I mean? Like, not accepting the fact that I'm over here with these guys, but believing that I'm still somewhat better, So, I was real standoffish. People would try to come and talk to me, and I was just like, like really, like in a sense, turn my nose up, like, man, like, you know what I mean? Keep it pushing, man. I got no words for you, And so, you know what I mean? In the politic world, when you transition to this side, of course, you're always going to come across certain individuals because prison's just a small world where, you come across individuals that you ran across on the main line, and you heard their story, and so it's like, you kind of gravitate towards each other because it's like, okay, well, we know what we were about on the main line, so like let's kind of like, you know what I mean, just stick to ourselves over here. And so, for the first few years, man, like I said, not being able, not wanting to, accept the fact that, you know what I mean, I was amongst quote unquote trash. I was still like, you know what I mean, fighting. I was, you know what I mean, assaulting individuals who had, you know what I mean, bad paperwork. Just doing the most, I mean, just, you know what I mean, getting high to numb the pain and the shame. And, I ended up picking up a battery on an inmate with serious bodily injury. And I ended up getting shipped out to Kern Valley State Prison. And this prison, I mean, was off the chain, man, you know what I mean? And if, anybody listening and, you know what I mean, is familiar with Kern Valley, Kern Valley's story. It's one of probably the most notorious prisons there is in California, besides like Pelican Bay, you know what I mean, High Desert. And it's wild, it's active right there, you know what I mean, whether it's GP or SNY. You know, so being introduced to that beast right there, man, you know what I mean? I thought, you know what I mean? You would think the main line's crazy on level 4s, man. Shit, this prison was like I said, I mean, a beast within itself. Um, and of course, you know what I mean? I was just still, you know what I mean, antisocial in some sense, you know what I mean? You know, fighting, um, just doing the most, man, getting high. Uh, and like it wasn't around until like the end of like the mid 2016 when, you know what I mean, a lot of us guys, you know, we started hearing about this new law that was coming out, which was Prop 57. And so, you know, of course, you know what I mean, I think I shared last time in my last interview, like, you know what I mean, you would hear all this, oh yeah, you know, there's hope, there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. But you know, for us lifers, man, back then, you know, when we caught our life sentences, you know, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. And there really was no reason to desire or want change because, you know what I mean, there was nothing in a sense in our warped mind frame. There was no sense in trying to do good to better ourselves or, you know what I mean, ease the situation of us being far away from our families and, you know, and our kids. Um, like I say, you know, there's no incentive. But upon hearing about this law and it changing the criteria for certain felonies to non-violent felonies, it opened the door in a sense for a lot of us, myself included. And you know, I can honestly say like that's when this law passed and I actually read the criteria, that was really like my wake up call. You know, and I was like, wow, you know, I mean, there's something to this law, you know, and so of course, you know what I mean, even being on this side, you know what I mean, and dealing with all the
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
and participating in the BS, you know, I mean, of course, you know what I mean, you're getting tired of it, you're getting sick of the same old, same old. But I mean, that's like they say in our recovery, man. That's like insanity. You know what I mean? It's us repeating the same things over and over again, expecting different outcomes. And so, you know, when this law came out, I was already, you know what I mean, looking to change, you know what I mean, my associations in a sense. I started seeing the guys that were doing good, you know what I mean, and were just like once upon a time a idiot and what we would call fool. But you know what I mean, just staying out the way, man. Programming, you know what I mean, having a job, you know what I mean, having a good program instead of just, you know what I mean, hanging out on the yard or in the cell all day and just having madness running through your mind, you know. So, you know, of course, I try to associate myself more with them, and you know, I try to pick their brain and just started picking up game on how to lay out a path for myself to navigate this road to recovery because, you know, it's not easy, man, and especially, you know, when you're coming in the gang lifestyle and, you know what I mean, and just being a straight fuck up, you know what I mean, that's a whole different world, and it's kind of scary, and not scary in the sense of what you're going to encounter, but just not knowing, like, am I going to be good enough? Like, am I going to be able to cut it in a sense? And you know what I mean? You got your little self-conscious, oh, well, you know, my reputation, is this going to have a flaw in my reputation? Are people going to look at me different? Not knowing that me coming to the side, people are already looking at me different. You know what I mean? People who I once considered, you know what I mean?
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Whatever. So it's like, again, me being in that warped mind frame, that bullshit mind frame, like I'm still worried about what people, how people perceive me. and not knowing or understanding, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like that party of lifestyle's over. You know what I mean? And so slowly but surely, man, I started, you know what I mean, getting involved in the self-help groups. One of the first groups that a lot of us, when we first start off in our recovery, is usually, AANA. And, even at the beginning of that, man, you know what I mean? That NANA, you weren't really, you know what I mean, trying to learn your 12 steps
Hey, Robert,
or
call
take
back.
your sobriety serious.
Call
All
back.
right.
All right. So, this call's about to come to an end right now. Robert is going to be calling us back. He is currently located in prison. And right now, I did see a few questions on TikTok. I'll go ahead when the call reconnects right now. I'll go ahead and double and ask him those questions. My apologies, just because normally when right now I'm doing a double stream. I'm doing a stream on YouTube and on TikTok. So I don't like to interrupt these gentlemen, when they're in the middle of their calls. Sometimes I'll have calls where we're just shooting from the hip and we'll have conversations and whatnot. And when I'm doing lives like that, I don't mind, and just asking the questions at any moment. Just with him right now, this would be the fourth segment of him sharing his journey with us. So, and he's calling right back, and I'll go ahead and ask him right now when we reconnect.
This call is now being recorded.
Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Robert.
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
Hello, Robert.
Yes.
All right. So, before we started this interview, I had mentioned to you that instead of only running your journey on YouTube, where we're going to be doing a double stream. I was going to be doing it on YouTube and TikTok. And with TikTok,
Yeah.
normally they interact way more than they do on YouTube. So we do have a few questions. Hopefully, the people or the individuals that ask these questions are still in here. The first question is going to be from Hater Proof, and he's asking, I think it's a guy. Did you end up joining a PC gang?
Oh no. That wasn't that was, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I was recruited. You know what I mean? I mean, I was offered the opportunity, but no, I never decided to participate.
All right, fair enough. And then we have a question from, I think it's Hazel. It's just the writing's a little bit kind of small, and it kind of looks like it's something I can't really make out, but hopefully that's the name. So Hazel's asking, what prison is he in?
Oh, I'm currently in Centinela State Prison.
All right, and then we have two questions from Nicole, and she wants to know what is he locked up for, and these people are from LA.
Hmm. Yeah. So, Nicole. So, I'm currently incarcerated under the 3 strikes law. Serving a 34 years to life sentence for assault with a deadly weapon and basically a domestic violence charge. So that's what I'm doing time for.
All right, Robert, and somebody's asking, Danny Vasquez is asking, what's the YouTube handle? It's the same thing as the handle here on TikTok. It's you could either find it under at CollectCallFrom, or you have a CollectCallFrom with no spaces, and it should pop up. If not, it's also under my profile. I got all my links, or you could even find it at www.youhaveacollectcallfrom.com, and it'll take you directly over to the YouTube channel. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and hand over the mic over to Robert over here, so you can go ahead and continue with his journey. And if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and ask them. And normally I'll ask them because these calls are 15 minutes. So once these calls get disconnected, I'll go ahead and normally ask him those questions, just not to interrupt him, in the middle of his journey. I see one other question that just came in from Cali, and he's asking, what hood is he from?
Yeah, I'm from San Diego, California. I think it's inappropriate for me to be on here trying to glorify where I was from. So, I mean, with all due respect, I'll just be said that I'm from San Diego, California.
All right, perfect, Robert A. I respect that, highly appreciate it, and I'm gonna go ahead and hand over the mic over to you.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So, back to, what I mean, my desire to change and all that. So, what I mean, just changing my associations and, what I mean, getting involved with the individuals who are programming, what I mean, and doing good. So, just trying to implement their blueprint into my own. So, like I said, I started off with the NAN or AANA. And even at first, man, what I mean, it was hard because I'm not a real religious person. So, trying to accept, what I mean, within the 12 steps that, what I mean, God is your higher power and all that. I think a lot of us, we all struggled with that because, I mean, our question would be, well, what if, what I mean, we have doubts that, what I mean, of faith, what I mean, that a God exists, and they're like, oh, well, how we better come to understand it was, well, if you're not religious in that sense, well, your higher power could be, finally honoring your children, your mom, your father, your grandparents, whoever it may be, and just utilizing that as your higher power. So, we started off with that, man, and then, then I started getting into, just other classes. We had a group that was recommended where it gave us the opportunity, especially us that had been in the gang lifestyle for so long. It was called the Actors Gang, and this group was, if you guys haven't heard of it, it was a group started by the actor Tim Robbins and a couple of other Hollywood people that got involved, are just advocates now for the prison system and rehabilitation. And, what I mean, they brought this group to Kern Valley State Prison. And, they implemented this group where, what I mean, we had to paint our faces like clowns and act out the roles of certain characters. And, that group was very, very beneficial in a sense because it brought us out of that, what I mean, that tough guy persona. And then for a lot of us, it was an eye-opener. It was really insight to us understanding that, what I mean, from a young age, what I mean, your gang moniker, that was a mask. That's a false sense in a way. What I mean? You're hiding behind this character, which was, what I mean, your persona, what I mean, your AKA. And so, what I mean, looking at it from that different angle, like, wow, it was a mask. And so, that group was beneficial. And then,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
One of the groups that I got involved with, too, that really made me start taking my rehabilitation more serious, it was called EDGE, and it was an acronym for Education, Diversion, and Goals to Endeavor. And this was a youth diversion group. Some people refer to it as a Scared Straight program. But, what I mean, we weren't there to scare the kids. We were there to educate these kids who were coming up out there in the Kern County in the Bakersfield area. And so, what I mean, it gave us an opportunity to basically look at ourselves in the mirror at that age. And our whole goal was, what I mean, to educate these young boys. And a few times, what I mean, there was teenage girls that were able to attend and just share our stories with them and, what I mean, share our experiences, our upbringings, experiences in prison. And, what I mean, try to dissuade them from, what I mean, walking down the same path that we did that led us to prison. And so, going through that now, let me assure you guys that, you know what I mean, it wasn't all just uphill, you know what I mean. I had my bumps in the road. You know, during this time, you know what I mean, I was still, you know what I mean, getting caught in possession of cell phones, getting hit by ISU, you know what I mean, what we refer to as a squad. Um, you know, getting confidential information dropped that, you know what I mean, that I was slinging dope, which I was at one time, you know. So, but again, it was just an early transition into me to finally, you know what I mean, just pushing away those bad characteristics of myself and learning just how to be an individual and not so much, you know what I mean, again, you know, being self-conscious and worrying about what everybody else on the yard is thinking about me. Um, so, you know, through that, man, I ended up becoming the IAC chairman of the yard. So, you know, it gave me, in a sense, you know what I mean, more responsibility to hold the community within the prison yard as more closely and not just, you know what I mean, looking out for myself in a sense. And even the individuals who may not be individuals that I would associate with every day, um, just, you know what I mean, humanizing them as well as humanizing myself and the guys on the yard too. You know what I mean, trying to present ourselves in a more humane light to administration and CDCR officials that you know what I mean, whether, you know what I mean, we're doing good or we're still fucking up in a sense that, you know what I mean, we deserve to be treated right and get what we have coming in a sense of, you know what I mean, privileges, little perks, whatever it is. Um, let's see, I got involved in a group that was called Defy Ventures. This group originally started over there on the East Coast in New York, and this group is basically like a Shark Tank style business venture group where we had celebrities and people come in that are, you know what I mean, CEOs.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
And we were able to, you know what I mean, come up with a business plan and present our business to these individuals who decided to come and, you know, hear our business plans out. And, you know, we got feedback, you know what I mean. We were presented with the opportunity to earn a certificate from Baylor University for career readiness. So that was a plus. You know, through that led me to open up a door to get involved in community college. And, you know, so I started, I'm currently still in pursuit of my AA degree. I'm shooting for my AA in social and behavioral sciences. You know, so that started right there in Kern Valley. You know, and then just ended up becoming a facilitator through the PrEP. It's a LA-based organization that helps in, you know, stopping recidivism and, you know what I mean, giving us an opportunity to earn certificates on life skills, domestic violence, gang awareness, so on and so forth. I had completed a lot of these courses, and I was offered the opportunity to represent our yard over there in Kern Valley State Prison. And I was sort of a mentor for these other inmates as far as them, you know what I mean, deciding to take courses, you know, whether it be life skills, so on and so forth, to better themselves. And, you know, from there, man, just, you know what I mean, getting involved with the right people, showing my change, you know, I was offered more opportunities. I became the law library clerk. You know, I was working at a law library, you know what I mean, got to sharpen my skills as far as law. helping other individuals, you know what I mean, argue their case, file their paperwork. Um, yeah, so then in 2021, I ended up getting transferred here to Centinela State Prison. And, I'm just continuing on my path, man. I'm currently enrolled in community college again. I'm graduating on Wednesday, next on the 17th, from an ARC group, which is another LA-based organization called Anti-Recidivism Coalition. So, I'm graduating from that. I'm currently a teacher's aide clerk in the auto body vocational class here in Centinela. I'm also working with Jesse Nava, who's also a participant on this talk about bringing that youth diversion group that I was involved with in Kern Valley State Prison here to Centinela. Because currently Centinela doesn't have a youth diversion group, so me and Jess are putting our heads together.
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Are writing a proposal to the captain and the warden in hopes of possibly bringing that group here, and utilizing these guys here who want to change or who are changing and want to give back in a sense of indirect amends, man. That hopefully we'll get that up and running soon. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at today. Just striving to continue to do good, stay out of trouble. I should be getting back to this parole board in about a year or two, and hopefully, I get granted this time.
Hey, and you know what? I want to ask you something right now. I know the call is about to hang up. I have like 2 or 3 questions. If you go ahead and call me back, and you're getting definitely some support on TikTok. Congratulating you on you graduating Baylor University. All right, so this call will be reconnected shortly. As soon as he calls back, we'll go ahead and continue with his journey. And there's a few questions that I want to ask him when he does call back. So, and I want to go ahead and thank all of you that are tuning in, whether it's on YouTube or TikTok. Oh, hey, what's up, ICEMAN? I saw ICEMAN. He put keep the great work, James. Keep up the great work. Hey, thank you, ICEMAN. I really appreciate it. Did you work today, or was it your day off? All right, and he's calling back. And
this call is now being recorded.
Esta es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Robert.
un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga gracias por utilizar Global Telling.
all right, Robert.
Yeah.
All right, I want to go ahead and thank you for calling back in. And for anybody that's just joining right now that just happened to come across his TikTok channel, these calls are actually live. So today is what is it? It's Friday, April 12th, and it's 5:13 in the evening. So we're currently on the line with Robert, and he's currently incarcerated in Centinela State Prison in the state of California, which would be a level 3 facility. And I'm gonna read some of these comments off to you right here on that we got on TikTok, and I totally missed this one. Crystal writes, "Wow, from Baylor 100," and then I'm like, I thought she was putting that she's from like Baylor, and I'm like, where the hell's Baylor? I never heard of it. I totally missed it when you said it. So is this Baylor in Texas, right? Baylor University in Texas? Okay.
Baylor Bears.
Baylor.
Baylor Bear. Yep.
Hey, that's pretty cool, man. That you're able to take advantage of those programs that the state is offering right there. And Crystal writes, yeah,
Of course.
because I put Baylor University and I put a question mark, and Crystal writes, yeah, he said yes, he said they got a certification through Baylor, and Pinta Stilo, he's clapping his hands, and then we got Sanho 408. He's put she's putting the little praying hands with little hearts. And Pinta Stilo writes, he writes, that's what's up. And Sanho 408 writes, congratulations with the little party hat emoji in the chat. And then Pinta Stilo's writing, we are trying to offer artists behind walls a platform to showcase their skills, spread the word. Okay, all right, I'm gonna have to check them out, definitely. And then Crystal writes, that's astonishing. So I'm telling you, like, these comments, it's way different right here than on YouTube. YouTube's a little bit it's a little bit slower in the chat. And then
Yeah.
and then we also got Jess Omanan 2023. Hello, just coming on. All right. All right, cool. So you know what? So you mentioned something earlier on when you were when you were walking us through your journey, and you mentioned that
Hmm.
that somebody drop, or they could drop confidential information on you. And what exactly does
Yeah.
that mean to you? And does that affect you in any way when you go to these parole board hearings?
Okay, so in California State Prison, they have what they call, it's a 1030 form, and it's a notification of confidential information. And basically, what it entails is that somebody somebody dropped a kite on you, alleging that you're involved in illegal drugs.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You may have been involved in an assault that you weren't caught for. It could be that you're in possession of a cell phone or fucking or something like that. And so now a lot of times, more than likely, if confidential information is dropped on you, you are guilty in one way or of a sense. But there is rare opportunities where people are in a sense envious of your position because you're doing good. You may have a good job, and so they'll try to utilize that confidential information route in hopes of getting you removed from your assignment or whatever you're doing to propel themselves. So like I said, when I was getting caught, of course, you know what I mean, I was guilty. I was in possession of a contraband cell phone. You know what I mean? At the time, yes, I was involved in illegal drug sales. I like I said, my house was getting hit by ISU, which is Institution Security Unit, and they were finding weapon stock, shit like that. So, but I mean, yeah, the 1030s, of course, man. You know what I mean? In my last parole hearing, it was brought up. You know what I mean? You do get questioned on it, and what puts you at a disadvantage when it comes to the confidential information is that you're only notified that information was dropped. You don't know by who. You just know the date that it was given, and like a quick sentence or two of what it entails. Now, when you go to the parole board, the BPH commissioners, they have the whole report and exactly what was fully said by whom and this and that. So when you're confronted with that, if anybody out there listening or has somebody go on the board, let them know that if they're in that situation, it's not in their best interest to try to lie about it, especially if you know that you were involved in any type of illegal activities. That it's best for you to just cop to it and take responsibility for it, because that's what they're really wanting you to do, is to show your growth and that you take responsibility for your actions and how you're overcoming those faults. So, yeah, I mean, fortunately, I believe the BPH commissioner stated to me that um, the confidential information against me wasn't used in in their in their decision to deny me, but I do believe that it does play a part, regardless if they acknowledge it or not.
And and you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of times from what I hear, I've never been to a parole board here, let alone prison, but a lot of times, pretty much they're testing you. They already know what the answers are. They just wanna see they just
Yeah,
wanna see where you're at, in your journey, in your
exactly.
progression of the person that you've become. So um, I know, we have some gentlemen come on, and stuff catches up to you. I know back, in the middle of COVID, that the EDD fraud was really big, and a lot of people signed up for it, and it ended up catching up to them, because when it came for them to be found suitable, they might have been found suitable at the moment, but once they started digging around, and they will dig around, they found out that some of these people that were found suitable, participated, in this type of fraud at some type of level, and they ended up revoking
Yeah,
their date. And
yeah, rescission. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So
yeah.
so
I got a coworker. I got a coworker at my current job that just had a similar situation to what you just described, where he was granted parole, and the governor ended up pulling his date back because he participated in that EDD fraud.
yeah, yeah. And you know what? Somebody just asked a question. We have Christy, and she's asking, there's no way to of finding out the confidential information prior to hearing. They don't share that with you, right? You find out right then
Yes,
and there, right?
yes, yes. So when you're scheduled for your BPH hearing, you are entitled to get it. I believe uh, 30 days prior, you get a brief, like a printout of just like a brief synopsis of whatever, however many. Like, I mean, unfortunately for me, I mean, a lot of mine stem back to me being on GP, but a lot of it had come about me being on this side as well. But mine was front and back, a sheet front and back. I've seen guys who have multiple pages. Um, but yes, we are afforded an opportunity to view that. But what's very important for us to understand too is that prior to our hearing, I believe, which is like about 6 months, they give us what is referred to as an Olson review. And in this Olson review, it's your opportunity to go through your whole prison file, which is referred to as your C file, your central file, and you get an opportunity to go through every piece of paperwork that was ever submitted under your name and number, as long as it's not confidential, and you're allowed to view it in preparation for you not being blindsided by the board asking you any type of question pertaining to rehabilitation, to, you know what I mean, just daily life within prison.
Thank you for sharing that. Oh man, and I was gonna mention something right now, and it totally oh, okay, sorry, I remember now. So also, so let's say, like in your case, you haven't been, in GP for over what, 12 years now, or 12 or 14 years now at this point.
About, yeah.
And let's say tomorrow somebody decides, to walk away, and put up the gloves, and then when they're going through their process of being switched over, or when they're in ASEG and they're interviewing them, if they happen to drop your name from something that you did 15 years ago, they'll bring that up on the board hearing, even though this happened 20 years ago, right? It's
Oh, of course. Of course. So look, okay, so look, I'll use myself as an example, and it's funny you brought this up because this just a similar situation just happened to me recently. So about, let's see, in February, I was at work, and I get called to the work exchange, and when I enter work exchange, I see a police officer who has, you know what I mean, the police insignia on, and he's accompanied by two ISU members from here at Centinela. And so they take me outside, you know what I mean? They pat me down, they wand me with a metal detector, and then they say, "Hey, you know, are you so and so?" And I told them, "Well, I used to be, and I'm all, I don't participate in gang activity no more, so, but yeah, that's who I was." And then they're like, "Okay." And well, somebody on the streets informed the police in the ISU, the Institutional Security Unit, that myself and a fellow member of my old gang had knowledge of the gang assaulting police officers. And that was my exact same thing. And I told him, "Man, I'm like, you know, you guys read my file. You know I haven't been participating in gang activity for X amount of years. What would make you believe that I have this knowledge or I have say in a possible assault on police officers?" And they're like, "Well, you know, your name was given, and another individual who's here on another yard at Centinela, who is an active member from my old gang." And I was just like, wow, like, you know what I mean? I was thrown back because it was like, and it was even somewhat, I was scared because of the potential harm that this could cause me at a future parole date. You know what I mean? Like, because I,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
could it screw me off for them believing that I still have gang association ties with my old gang, which I don't. You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, so it's like there's situations like that where, you know what I mean, guys transitioning to this side, you know what I mean? If they happen to throw your name, "Oh, well, once upon a time, you know, I've had issues with Robert, and Robert's AKA, and oh, yeah?" And so they'll document that. And it could be utilized as a new
Le queda un restante de 60 segundos.
Now, unless the officers, which is usually the IGI, which stands for Institutional Gang Investigators, if they happen to not label that information right, that, okay, this was a prior incident from, let's say, 10 years ago, and they just mark it as, okay, so this individual decided to drop out of the gang, and he happened to mention Robert's name, saying that they have enemy concerns or whatever, it could be utilized against you in a negative way at a parole hearing.
Wow, man, that's crazy. You know, something that old and they use it as something new. And when they deny you, we're not talking about, you know, just 1, 2, 3 years. In some cases, they could deny you 5, 10, or 15 years, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, shit, it starts at 15.
All right, so the call was disconnected. Robert should be calling us back shortly. And man, yeah, I've been reading a lot of the comments. So, you know, Jess, hey, you know, congratulations on your on BD. I'm assuming is your baby's daddy's getting on Monday, man. Man, I'm sure you're excited. Are you gonna go pick him up? And then, man, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and read up these messages to Robert when he gets right back in from TikTok. That's what I do like about TikTok. The messages are, you know, coming in a lot quicker than they do on YouTube. And there he is. All right.
This call is now being
Esta
recorded.
es Global Telling. Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de
Robert?
un individuo encarcelado en de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, Robert.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Man, so that's bananas. Something that, that happened so long ago could still be brought up and affect you in a negative, in a negative way when you're definitely on a different path, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
So right now, like what what plans do you have? When you come home. Hopefully, like you said you go to the board like in about a year or so.
Yes. Yeah. So my plans. Okay. So let me see. My plans at my last parole hearing consisted of, which would be the same if I was to go tomorrow. Which is, of course, I needed. I have a few transitional homes where I've already been accepted to. So it's like me. I feel it's preferable for me not to go back to San Diego right away as soon as I'm released from prison. Um, and and that is just, you know what I mean, out of personal safety. It's not so much that, you know what I mean, I'm hiding for nothing or I'm a wanted man, and you know what I mean. But it's just, you know what I mean. That's a trigger for me. It's something. It's a place where, you know what I mean, it could potentially cause me to relapse. You know what I mean? Just, it's the people, places, and things, and just, reminiscing in certain areas. So I'm looking to go out to the LA area or possibly, like the IE, like Riverside, something out there. Um, of course, and just, you know what I mean, continue to take advantage of the resources that are going to be available through these transitional homes. Um, I'm planning to stay there for maybe about up to a year if possible, just so I can get up on my feet. I'm involved with a couple of organizations that are have offices out there in LA County as well, which is the ARC and the Five Ventures. The Five Ventures, that was the business group that I was telling you about earlier, where that I graduated from. So, being that I'm a graduate of the program, I'm automatically enrolled in what they consider an incubator of potential uh, prior graduates who want to proceed forward in the group. And basically, if I still want to proceed with my business plan, they'll help me, you know what I mean, build my business. They'll give me an opportunity to go in front of prospective people who want to invest in the type of business that I want to run. And so, you know what I mean? I got automatic enrollment in that. They'll provide me with a laptop computer, with a cell phone. Um, through the other organization that I'm gonna graduate from next week, which is the ARC. They're very good at helping parolees. You can go to their offices and they have job placement. Um, we got a lot of guys, you know what I mean, fresh out of prison, starting off making $30 an hour through their organization and their job placements and their resources. Um, so after that, I hope, of course, you know what I mean, to gain employment. Um, should I want to pursue my education and possibly, you know what I mean, go for my master's degree? I mean, there's a what's called Project Rebound, and so I could utilize that if should I choose. Um, and then after that, just gain employment, man. Get on my feet, and then you know what I mean, reunite with family, and then of course, I mean, I have 3 kids. I'm a grandfather now. My grandfather just turned 2 on Wednesday, so if they're happening to be listening, happy birthday, Neil. You know, um, I miss you. I love you so much. Your tata loves you. Um, you know what I mean? And then, you know what I mean? Hopefully, you know what I mean? Get more financially stable and, settle down, man. Find me a good woman and, you know what I mean? Just live life, man, and just catch up on all the things that, you know what I mean, I missed out on.
And you know what, Robert? Right now, I was recently speaking to Joe, and I had mentioned to him right now. Right now, it's probably the best time to come home. And the reason I say that would be they got so many programs right now that you can't fail. If you really want to make it out here, they got these transitional,
Exactly.
houses. They help you get on your feet. They help you get clothing. They give you bus passes. They give you job placement, and they even give you a ride from the prison to your halfway or your transitional housing.
Yeah.
If you don't have a ride, you just have to do that legwork. Have to reach out to these organizations, and,
That's
and, and
it.
they'll make it happen. So there is no
Hmm.
excuses. If you really want to make the change, and also we were having a conversation about if are people tripping about your status in this transitional housing, and the
Hmm.
majority of these people, they left that at the gate. They've been down so long that they're just happy to make it out.
Yeah.
You might have a person or two that will focus on that, and those people just normally just
Hmm.
don't mingle with anybody. They stay to themselves,
Hmm.
and that's it. And I mean, it is what it is. So, but there's so many people, and he said the
Hmm.
people that he has come in contact with, they seem like genuinely don't care about that. He's had people that have reached out to him that paroled from the main line that are still messing with
Hmm.
him. Like, they don't care about that. They're just happy to be home.
Yeah.
But I know there's people that do care.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not, I'm not trying to make it seem like everything's all fine and dandy. But the people that care are gonna care. The people that don't.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know that's good that you share that because a lot of these guys that I talk to around here who have parole dates, that's one thing I try to preach to them as well. And it's just like getting out today, like me, like I said, I'm a three striker, so I've been on parole twice prior time, and I'm telling them, I advise them today, like everything's given to you as long as you got to be a go getter. Unlike where the last two times now, not to minimize my personal, because what, I wasn't a go getter then. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I was caught up in the mind frame, in the lifestyle. And so, but even the times that I did,
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
even times when I was out on the prior times on parole, where I did try to go to my parole officer and ask for help and ask for resources, and they weren't available. And so that's what led me back to the streets and committing crimes to make a living. You know what I mean? And so, but today, like you said, that's not the case, man. There's so many organizations available to us that want to help. You know what I mean? And it's like the community of ex-lifers, man, and those advocates out there, it's huge. And you're correct, man. This is the time to get out, and everybody should be able to prosper, and just, you know what I mean, get up on their feet within a set amount of time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, man, I wish they had these programs, back, 20 years ago, when I was out there, messing
Yes.
around and
Yeah.
didn't care about my life. But fortunately for myself, I was able to snap out of it, and I'm on a different path now. And but for you guys that are still there, um, just take advantage of it. Just take advantage of it, and use as much as you can, and get yourself right. Stay in those transitional houses as long as you can. Stack up as much money as you can, because I'm gonna tell you this firsthand: it's not easy out here. It's hard. It's hard. Just like
Yeah.
with it, going to eat, just food, rent, and your car insurance, and reality is life's just gonna hit you in the face, and it's not easy. So enjoy the time that you have in prison right now, because it hopefully is short, because you're gonna be in for a ride when once you come home. But the great thing about being home is you could do whatever you want. If you want to go out to the
Yeah.
park, you want to go out to see your family. It's freedom. Freedom. There's nothing that you can't compare it. So so
No.
just I can't wait. Hopefully you come next year, and if you do come next year, I'll be there to record you getting dropped off on the van. Like what I did with Joe.
Oh yeah.
Man, and
Yes.
I'm not sure how much of your day you're willing to share with me, but I'm in for the ride. You're right there in SD. I'll fly into SD, get that rental car,
Yeah.
smash out to Centinela. If you don't got a
Yeah.
ride up, I'll go
Yeah.
pick you up, interview you, go drop you off, and go get some tacos right there, and maybe tacos El Gordo, or if you know any spots, and we'll do the damn
Hey.
thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Hell yeah, man, I can't wait. I can't wait. And of course, James, like I've shared with you before, you know what I mean? And I appreciate this opportunity, man. And of course, man, you know what I mean? Like you've given us a platform to share our stories, and you know what I mean, to give these listeners, you know what I mean, a different perspective. If they don't know nobody in prison, or they just heard you know what I mean, the war stories, and you know what I mean, the bad things, you know what I mean, this gives us that opportunity to share that, you know what I mean, that we're not just the person that committed that past mistake. You know what I mean? We do desire change. We want to change. You know what I mean? There's a good heart within this tattooed body. You know, and so hell yeah, man. I would love to. You know what I mean? To be able to document that, and of course, you know what I mean. It goes a long way, man. Like I used to when I was in the youth diversion group. You know what I mean? Our motto was, we may not be able to reach everybody, but as long as we can make one person's life different and make a difference in their life, we're doing something positive. And that's the whole goal, is me trying to share my story and to reach somebody who may be going down the same path, or may have a loved one or a child who is experiencing the bad things that I had to endure, and to hear my story and to be able to persuade them to do something better. I'm all for that, man.
And we got a comment here from Sanho 408, and she writes, "Take care, have a blessed day, keep you in my prayers." And she also writes, "Tacos better than a spread."
Hey, girl, you said it all the way. You know what I mean? And I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate your prayers. Um, and you just keep on tuning in. If you guys out there listening at the moment, if you guys have any suggestions, you know what I mean, please hit up James, and you know what I mean, could give us an idea, because I mean, we have so much that we could speak on. You know what I mean, and share a different perspective. Maybe even perspectives that'll blow your minds. You know what I mean? You may not think that we have.
Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
You know what I mean? Anybody tapping in, like I said, you know what I mean? Please contact James. You know what I mean? Hey, we would like to hear your guys speak on this or speak on that.
You know
We're
what?
all for it, man. We could keep this going.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I totally forgot. You know what? Sometime this week I was actually on a live with Silas, and
Hmm.
we actually, because we started talking about women's prisons. Or no, we had somebody jump on the
Yeah.
chat, and they had mentioned that they had just got out of prison not too long ago, and they had originally went in for murder, but they ended up getting it dropped down to or getting convicted of, I think, manslaughter. So she ended up getting sentenced to I think 6 years, I want to say. But I originally I thought it was a guy, and then she was like, "No, I'm not a guy, I'm a girl." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, and then
Hmm.
I was like, because I've never had any women come onto the, onto any of the streams or the lives. I had been trying to. I had
Right.
had somebody in Chowchilla, but they ended up backing out at the last minute.
Hmm.
And one of the reasons that I did want to bring in women to the channel, because they have a different perspective, and they're actually going through some way, different things than men do.
Recuerda un restante de 60 segundos.
I think one of the biggest things they're going through right now is they have males in women prisons now, and
Yes.
so
Yes.
I wanted to get somebody on here so they could speak on it, and she actually called in, and she was talking about it a little bit, where I was thinking that they had them in separate, like they would have them all, like, let's say women that were born women, they would have them in one cell,
Yeah.
and then women that were born men, they would have them in confined to one cell. But she said, nah, that they have them all integrated, and some of these women were coming up pregnant. So
Yeah. Hmm.
when you're going to prison as a woman, that's something you're not expecting. That you have to deal with that. While incarcerated. not only that you have to worry about the guards, now you got to worry about, actual males. And the call was disconnected. He should be calling us back shortly. And once he does, we'll go ahead and continue. And let me see some of these comments over here on TikTok. And Stephanie G, this is actually pretty cool. I've never come across a live like this. I'm here for thank you, highly appreciate it, Stephanie. And then Sanho 408, always 100. Gloria, amen to that. And let me see. I don't want to. I got the only thing with TikTok is because I don't have the phone right in front of my face, and if I don't, glance at it every so often, TikTok, if I guess if you don't move around, it'll cut your stream. So I'm not trying to get my stream cut.
This call is now being recorded.
Usted tiene una llamada prepagada de un individuo encarcelado de la prisión estatal de Centinela, California. Esta llamada y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada. You have a prepaid call. You will not be charged for this call. Para aceptar esta llamada, diga o oprima ahora el 5. Gracias por utilizar Global Tel Link.
Hello, Robert.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, she called in, while we're in the middle of the live, and it was pretty cool. Me and Silas got to, ask her a few questions. She was on for like 40 or 45 minutes, and she answered a lot of the questions that we had. So, but hopefully in the future I am able to get, somebody that could walk me through their whole journey from childhood all the way to, where they're at now, and preferably somebody that's still there, so we could get like a first-hand account of actually, what's going on behind there, without putting them at risk, not sharing too much, but where they're comfortable about sharing.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yep. Yeah, and maybe hopefully one of these days we're able to get you on a video chat. We could do a live video feed, so the watchers and the listeners could see who you are. I mean, I know I got a picture of you on one of the other videos, but it's a little bit different. When we have that face to face interaction via these video visits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, well, like I told you, man, just I don't know what's going on with my tablet, but like I said, I mean, a few of us, not everybody, has been experiencing this issue where we don't get notified of these
the messages,
incoming emails.
Yeah.
Yes. So, but I mean, I've been talking with Jess a lot, man, and you know what I mean. He was telling me about, you getting on the TikTok platform and all this, and I was like, man, that's what's up. So, I mean, the next available date, man. I mean, you just gotta let me know, and
okay,
whenever we could get that out the way as soon as possible, man. Like, I'm all for that.
You wouldn't happen to have day room today, would you?
No, we don't have no, tomorrow.
Tomorrow? What is it going to be? Morning day room and evening day room? Or
preferably the nighttime.
Nighttime? Okay, I think I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow evening, so we might be able to get you on and and have you interact with with the audience like that via video.
Yeah, because like I was telling you when we were trying to hook up to get this chat done, tomorrow I'm in a few tournaments, so I got a game in the morning and I got a game in the afternoon, so the nighttime would preferably be convenient for me.
Okay, all right, then say less. We'll go ahead and make that happen tomorrow evening then.
All right, cool. That'll work. I'm there. As long as the program's running, I'm there.
Hey, hopefully they don't have another memorial, because I know they've done like four or five already. I mean,
nah, man. Like, I mean, it's unfortunate, man. But it seems like a lot of these officers, you know what I mean? They've been passing away lately, man. So.
No, you know what? I think the last four or five has been for the same officer. I mean, yeah, it sucks that he's gone, but come on, like you're milking a little bit too much,
No,
If you
of course,
if you're doing 4 or 5, 1 or 2, cool, but 4 or 5, come on now.
Yeah. That's the California Department of Corrections for you.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
they already have all those trainings. What is it like the first? Is it the first Monday or the first Wednesday of the month where you know
Yeah,
where
the first Wednesday and Friday.
the
The
worst?
first Wednesday of the month and the third Friday of the month.
Yeah, man, they're always throwing a wrench on. I'm thinking I have something coming, and then I'm getting phone calls that they're in the sales because they forgot it's the first Monday, and then
Yeah.
the what is it, second, third Wednesday that you just mentioned.
Mhm. Yeah, third Friday.
Third Friday. Yeah, yep,
Yeah.
that one. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, man, it's ridiculous at times, man. And sometimes, you know what I mean. Depending on what prison you're at, it just seems like it's an ongoing thing. If it ain't one thing, it's always another.
Yeah, and you know what's cool about the video visits is that at that time, I could actually share the interviews that I'm doing in person, so you guys could, so you could see, what's happening, on the streets, because a lot of the times, I could only send 30-second clips of these interviews that I'm
30-second
doing, or
clips.
30, yeah, it's not really. I mean, it's
Esta llamada
nice.
y su número de teléfono será controlada y grabada.
It's nice to see those 30-second clips, but I mean, I would love to be able to send like 10 minutes, so you could really see like what's really happening.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll be cool. I know. You know what? Let me ask you this: have you been experiencing a problem? Like I know one of my daughters, she has an iPhone,
Yeah.
and whenever she tries to send videos, like the Getting Out app always like tries to say like the file's too big or whatever. Do you have that? Do you have that same problem?
Yeah, at the beginning I did, but what I ended up doing was I have this app that I edit the videos on, and I
Uh huh.
edit it. Because it has to be under 30 seconds and under 100 megabytes. So
Oh.
what I normally do is because if you record like the video in 4K, a 30-second clip is
Yeah.
gonna be too big. So what I do is I use another app. I use InShot, or I don't remember the name of the other app, and I edit it, and I bring down the quality. So I bring it down to 1080p, which drops the size of it dramatically, and it allows it to be sent out, which makes it, yeah. Or you could do let me see, Loca 915 says she does 28 seconds. So yeah, so what your daughter could do is she could like do like a test run, because on one of my phones, so I have numerous phones that I'm reaching out to you guys through. I have a Samsung, and then I got an iPhone. And on the Samsung,
Okay.
if I do a video, I gotta do 25 seconds, and that'll keep me under. It'll put me under 98. It'll keep me on 98 megabytes, which will allow me to send the video. So what she could
Oh.
do is she could check the size. She could run a she could do a 30-second clip and check how much memory that's using. If it's over 100 megabytes, tell her to figure out where that sweet point is at. So like that, she doesn't have any issues when she sends those videos out to you.
Oh. All right. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, because she's been trying to inquire too, but we can't like get a definite answer as far as to like how to go about it because it seems like it's always the people that have the iPhones. Everybody else that has Samsungs or whatever other phone they're using out there is fine, but it's for whatever reason the iPhones are tripping.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's because I'm pretty sure she has her. So what it is okay. So the camera or the video, she probably has it set up at a really high resolution. So
Mm.
um, she probably has it set at 4K. So 4K is gonna, when you record a video, is gonna consume more memory. So she could just
Okay.
change. She could just change it on the settings. So whenever she's gonna send you a video, and she could bring it down to 1080p or full HD, and then that'll help her out, with sending the videos. Or she could just use, as one of the other Loca 915 mentioned, she could use CapCut also. And CapCut is actually a free app on the App Store that she could use to edit the videos and bring down the resolution. Or she could trim it, to get it under that 100 megabyte and 30-second point, restriction point.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Good looking out, local 915. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So
yeah.
yeah,
So
whenever
we have to
whenever
get in that tomorrow.
yeah, yeah, and most definitely, yeah, we could definitely do that. Is it so? It'll be like what time do you normally have day room? Like around about 7:30 or so?
Yeah. I didn't know. Yeah, you could say about then. Yeah, yeah. We're
Okay.
lucky. We'll get it between 6:40. It should start between 6:45 and 7.
Okay, and then actually, and then too, before I forget, when I do the video business, I normally have it done on a different phone. So I'll send you another message on the Getting Out
All
app.
right.
It'll have my name, but
Mhm.
then it'll also have it'll say SG9, and that's the type of phone that I'm using. So that phone still has a headphone port on it, and it's a lot easier for me to integrate the audio.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Hello, Robert. I guess I think
You there?
the Getting app might be acting up.
Yeah, starting a trip. Starting a trip. Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. So I know we got about we got a few minutes left before the the call gets cut off. Do you want to give out any shout outs to anybody out there, family member, kids, or anything like that? If you do, feel free to take the mic or even throw some comments out there.
There's that tapped in today, and you know what I mean. Gave some feedback. I appreciate you. You know what I mean. It's always good to not only get you know what I mean a sense of congratulations, but you know what I mean that acknowledgement. At least for me, you know what I mean. It means a lot. You know, coming from people that don't know you. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, I hope you guys come back, check us out, man. Like again, we have a lot to say. You know what I mean, and we're I encourage you know what I mean. You guys hear about our change. To my family, love to meet you. You know what I mean? Like again, I want to give a shout out to my grandson. You know what I mean? Wednesday was his second birthday, so like I told you, I can't wait for the day to be there. And you know what I mean? You and Tata are gonna have a blast. So you know what I mean? That's about it, man. Thank you.
Man, thank you. And I do have another. I do have another comment on here from Sanho 408. Nice sharing about your journey. Have a blessed day.
Yes, yeah, likewise, likewise. Thank you. And again, like I said, I hope again, you know what I mean, maybe on a different topic, you know what I mean, you guys could tap in with me again, and you know what I mean, I could give some insight into that.
Most definitely. Anyway, we got another comment on here. Saludos, homies, and to the ones incarcerated. I said mine's in full.
Likewise, too, we send ours back, man. You know what I mean. We appreciate you guys. You know what I mean, tapping in, man. Like I said, you know what I mean, even from afar. You know what I mean. It means a lot, man. Thank you.
Yep, yep. And I want to go ahead and thank everybody that came and watched the live, and whether it was on TikTok or on YouTube. Hey, Chubby Jessica, I really appreciate you tapping in on YouTube. And hey, I want to go ahead and thank you for sharing your journey with us. I know it took a little bit longer than we anticipated. It was a little bit on my side and mostly on Garbage Tail Link's side. Um, no need to call them
I like
GTL
that one.
anymore.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use that one. I
Gar-
like that.
Garbage Tail Link.
Yeah.
Hey, but hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you calling in, and like I say around here, life's like a candle. Once you blow it out, it's lights out. And with that, we are out of here.